So, hello everybody, it's Cammy again, and I thought I'd bring you guys along as I make supper for the family. I'm doing something just kind of really rustic, just to get you up to date, because I was going to just make this and then I decided at the last minute to do this video. I've got just a little bit of grapeseed oil in my Dutch oven, my enameled cast iron, and I'm letting that heat up. And then to that I'm just going to add a small onion. I'm just going to let that get kind of translucent. No biggie. And what I'm going to do with this is my plan, which y'all know I usually don't really have a set in stone plan. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I have some red and gold little new potatoes, and I had some carrots that I just left I washed the new potatoes, and the carrots I peeled those and cut those in chunks and washed those too. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to sear my pork chops, which they're pretty thick pork chops, and then I'm going to add some seasonings in with that and the root vegetables, and basically just kind of let it roast in the oven together. That's what I'm thinking. I'm making it up as I go along. So I'm going to let that just kind of just hang out on a low heat while I go ahead and cut my pork chops open. These are some pork chops that I'm not really sure where we got these. I think we might have got these at Costco, and boy, they're big. They are thick and big. So it's going to take a little time in the oven. Let me see if I can grab a paper towel around the camera. I'm just going to pat these dry. See how big those are? Look at that. They're huge. And I'm just going to sit that in there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these all done. And kind of get them washed off, patted dry, and get those on top of my onions. I'm not really worried about the onions sauteing too much, because this is all going in the oven together. Even the small chops are pretty big. I'm very impressed with these. Last time we had these, we grilled them, and they were pretty good, and I kind of wanted to do that tonight, but my husband is working on a project outside. He wanted to get straight to that after he got home from work. So you know how that goes. If the husband wants to do something, some kind of project, you go ahead and you let him do that. I'll certainly put these in the oven. No problem there. Now, sorry I'm out of the frame of the camera. Just need to wash my hands. When I deal with raw meat of any kind, I'm going to wash those hands, and that's just the way it's going to be. Okay, now to this, I want to go ahead and I always like to salt and pepper my meat, whatever meat I'm working with. So I'll put a little bit of black pepper. And as far as the salt, I use my Himalayan sea salt. I kind of have a little collection of salt up here. I have my regular table salt, you know, the regular iodized salt, my Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, and then kosher salt. And then on the pepper side, I have my cayenne pepper, black pepper, and white pepper. So I kind of just experiment, you know, with those. Now, on top of this, I have a Greek seasoning blend that it's a Cavender's, if you're familiar with that brand. It's a copycat Cavender brand. Now I know that Renee over at Little Village Homestead, she has a really good Greek seasoning blend too. So if you're in the market for a DIY seasoning blend, check her out. And also, I plan on at some point, because I'm getting low on this stuff, and this stuff is so good, I plan on making a video about the Cavender's copycat blend also. So that will be two resources for you. Now let's just see how these are looking on the other side. I'm not really worried. I'm not trying to cook these. I'm just trying to sear them so that we'll have a good sear when we put them in the oven. And like I said to this, and this is another one. This isn't my mother's colander that I've shown in another video. This is another one I have. As you can see, like I said, I have some carrot chunks and some gold and red new potatoes, and I'm going to add those on top after we get our meat ready. See, it's not going to take this long, and the onion, I'm going to get some of that onion and put it on top. I don't want all of the onion to get so cooked that it becomes crispy. That's not what I'm looking for. But hey, if it happens that way, then I'll say that's what I was looking for, right? We'll put some of that on top. That way we can have some of that onion goodness on the bottom and on the top of these. Okay? So we're just going to let these cook. These are so big, it's almost a little bit hard to handle. I've got my oven preheated to 350, but you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and change it to, I think I'm going to change it to 375. I think it can handle it. That'll get it cooked a little bit quicker anyway. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just kind of flip these over. You can see where it's got a little bit of brown on there. I'm just going to get these in like this. And now we got to season this side. Always remember, you want to season both sides. So here, like I said, I've got my Himalayan salt, and I label these with my label maker. Yeah, you can tell that's pink, but when you get into the table salt, sea salt, and kosher salt, sometimes you need the label. So one day when I was in the organization mood right before Christmas, I went ahead and labeled everything. Labeled it all up. And I put that black pepper on there. And then our Greek seasoning we want to add some Greek seasoning to this. It smells really good. I think it's going to turn out perfect. And my plan is to serve this with just a salad. I mean, because this is a big piece of meat, and then when you add the root vegetables, you know, you really don't need anything else besides a salad. Okay? So we've got this browning. Look at all those good bits in there. We're going to let that brown for a minute, and then I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so I'm back. I went ahead and I took off my pork chops just for a few minutes, because what I want to do now is I want to kind of deglaze this pan and get some of these good bits going. And how I'm going to do this, y'all, is I've got some apple juice, and I'm just going to pour some apple juice in there, and I'm going to use that to deglaze, because I think that's going to add a good flavor. You know, you've heard of people, they eat pork chops with applesauce, and, you know, so look, some of my onions did get a little crispy, but that'll be okay. We won't worry too much about that, will we? It's going to all be good. Anyway, that's going to make like a juice, like a gravy, so to speak. So now I'm going to get all that goodness off. What do you deglaze your pans with? Do you use a juice? Do you use a wine? Do you have some other secret ingredient? Tell me in the comments what you like to use, and you never know, you might see me trying it in a recipe. That's gonna be so good. And of course I want to get all this, all that onion goodness with that. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got these in here, I want to take my vegetables and I'm going to just, oh, I've still got that tennis elbow I'm dealing with. And every time I pick up something with that hand, Lord Jesus, it's blessed. It's rough. If you're not familiar in the South, we bless everything. We bless it. It can be anything. It can be your mama. It can be your dog. It can be your elbow. It can be, and there's a good bless it and a bad bless it. I was doing a good bless it. Sometimes people in the South will say bless it, and they're kind of being a little bit, you know, kind of dissing somebody. But also sometimes people use bless it, and they truly mean like offering a prayer. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more of my seasoning, my Greek seasoning. Now what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna put the top on it. I'm gonna let it simmer on the stove top for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to transfer it to my oven, and I'm probably going to leave it there because those are thick pork chops, and I'm dealing with raw potatoes. No, ain't nobody want a raw potato in their mouth, but probably going to check it after about 45 minutes, and then we'll see where we're at. So in the meantime, go get you some sweet tea or whatever it is that you want, and I'll meet you back here when it's all done. Thank you. Okay, so here's what we got. Doesn't that look great? So I left it in for 45 minutes. The pork chops are done. The vegetables are done. My daughter is making a salad. I'm listening to Sutton Stay's Monday Night live stream in the background, and life is good. So thanks for watching, and remember, if you could give me a like, share, subscribe, and click the notification button. Say hi, Rachel. She says hey. All right, bye-bye.